What's up, y'all? It is your girl, Sarah from Sarah Styles here. Welcome to today's video. I am talking to Chris from A Daily Refinement in our monthly mentoring session. We go over my month from the previous month and set goals for the next month. So if you like content like that, make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit the notifications and give me a like on your way out. Chris, what's up? How have you been?
Life's been amazing. It's starting to, can't complain. It's awesome.
Great. Things are going well for you over there in Daily Refinement.
Mm-hmm.
You have a new venture coming out with a podcast with a
I've been doing.
right?
Yeah, we have a second episode coming out on Friday with Tech and Sports, and he's still the only person I know that has done $1 million on eBay by himself a year. So it's pretty exciting talking to him because he still has a family. He has all these other businesses and still makes it work.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'll have to definitely check in on that. So this is going to be a meaty as usual. Let's get into it. I'm going to quickly go over just how my month was when we touched base and the goals that we set. So when we touched base last month, remote learning had just started. I have 3 kids at home trying to get to 2,000 gross a month. I hit 6,000, right at 6,000 gross for the month in strictly reselling. So things are progressing really well. You had set the goal for me to list 400 and that didn't happen. You said that and I knew it wasn't going to happen. But I've been very consistent with listing 200 items. And we can look at, I have it up here. We can look at what my sell-through was. It's been a minute since I've looked.
Mm-hmm.
So 17% sell-through. So my sell-through rate is going up. I'm at 67 now. So I feel like I'm at a place. We've talked in the past about, I have lots of different business ventures and it's hard to do all of that. If I'm going to put time into reselling or into YouTube or branding or these digital products, I'm feeling pretty consistent I've got my eBay sales with your help, gotten my eBay sales up to where I'm feeling like they're coming in consistently. And I know what to do if I want to increase them to where I feel like maybe I want to shift a little bit and focus on some of my other revenue streams, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's always going to be a challenge of how you divide your time.
Mm-hmm. But before we get into, so I want to talk about some of my other revenue streams. Before we get into that, I do have one eBay question for you.
Go for it.
As I logged on to my eBay today and I have 219 item specifics, I'm wondering what is the purpose of eBay doing this and making us go back in listings and changing those item specifics, because it's very time consuming to have to go back. You have a large store, to have to go back and change all of those item specifics. So if you can give us a little bit of insight into that.
So I had 3,750 things that changed this morning. So it's a lot. But the way I look at it is the descriptions on eBay are whatever you want. And so that makes it hard for someone to shop. So what eBay would like to do, I think eventually, is move towards item specifics completely. In that way that they can sort of filter items for customers. So as an example, people use left-hand navigation to buy items. So they go, oh, I want the floral design, I want vintage, I want 80s, I want green, I want striped, blah, 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 to select. And they're trying to train buyers to shop that way. So the more item specifics you can put in, the more information they'll send to Google. And as you guys know, eBay is one of the largest advertisers ever. They spend billions of dollars on advertising. So the more item specifics you put in, the more money they'll spend driving outside traffic into your listing. Then when people get to your listing, they need to actually buy it. So make sure that you list your items properly at the right price, because if eBay sends people to your listing and people don't convert, they'll stop doing that.
Okay, so and that makes sense, and it makes me feel a little bit better about spending my time, because it's going to make my items get more views and likely more sales. But why do they make it mandatory? And why, moving forward, in my mind, it's like, can't we just say moving forward, my new listings have to have this? Why do I have to go back and change all of my old listings and spend time?
I think,
or is it just a back end?
It's just a way for them to clean up the website. eBay has 1.5 billion listings and they brag about that. But honestly, that's not good. That means that they should just have less listings with similar item specifics so people can actually find what they're looking for. And this should help with the rolling blackouts because people say, oh, I can't find my item. One of the reasons is because eBay is so complicated on the back end because all the listings are so different. There's the
Mhm.
same, you know, Kate Spade purse listed 50 different ways on eBay, and it's confusing for the buyer. So the short answer is the reason we have to go back is because eBay is not doing as well as Amazon for for buyer experience. eBay does everything for buyer experience. It's not that they don't care about sellers, it's just that they're focused on making the
Right.
buyer experience better.
Which makes sense because if the buyer's happy, they come back. So I'm okay with that. But that makes sense. They're trying to clean things up. And I do appreciate mine. I have until February. So I'm doing a little bit at a time. But that's all I want to talk about reselling, unless people have questions for you in the comments. I want to kind of shift into this other revenue streams. And for me, that's
Sure.
digital products, YouTube, and then social media in general. And something that, since we've talked about this a couple times where branding, working on my branding and one of my strengths compared to other people. And something you mentioned last time that's really been resonating with me and wanting me to get more into YouTube. You said, having killer content versus filler content. And I've absolutely been doing filler content as life's been crazy. I've been working on reselling, the pandemic, kids are at home. That's what these lives are. The lives that I do weekly is just to kind of have content out there, but nothing killer. So I want to kind of talk to you about YouTube and how to go about managing the different aspects of the business and having multiple streams of revenue, and then dig a bit into YouTube and how you actually make killer content, right?
I would love to talk about that. We also have Leslie in the chat. Hi, Leslie. She's a multi-passionate seller. She has
Mhm.
a podcast. She has digital products, hopefully, and then her reselling as well.
Yes, yes. Reseller's Passion is definitely on it. She has ebooks and all kinds of various different things. So for sure. So let's talk a little bit about time management. So my perspective for those who are new to the channel, I have 3 children, 2 are at home remote learning. One is hybrid learning, although the school got shut down yesterday. So maybe he's going to be home. But so I'm managing that as well as reselling. And then now also social media. I get roughly 7 hours a week, kid-free to work. So let's figure out how to plan that out. I've been doing well. So all I do from my reselling perspective, I have a lister, is pictures and shipping. And both of those I have managed to be able to do with children throughout the week. So I have 2 hours now that I'm doing YouTube lives, and then about 4 hours on the weekend that I have kid-free time where I'm thinking I'm going to work on some YouTube content, if that makes sense.
So time management is huge. You got to look at how much your time is worth. And in the beginning, YouTube's not worth much because I think the first year I only made a couple $1,000s in AdSense. But
Mhm.
now YouTube is more, just AdSense is over 50K a year, right? So that's worth my time now when you're looking at, but also think to being cognizant of your AdSense versus the digital products you sell. In reselling, the CPM is really high, so on average YouTube channels cannot survive only on AdSense. They have to have products, and the most common products are um, merch, shirts, that kind of stuff. But those have lower margins, and they're also more difficult to administer. You have a digital product with your dashboard, which is great.
Mhm.
The way I would look at it is there's 2 ways to monetize a digital product. One is it's like a thank you. So people appreciate you making amazing content and they thank you by buying the digital to support the channel. That's how I approach my guide. You could also move the consulting route. You could charge for coaching. And I think that in the reselling niche, it's hard to charge more than $200 an hour because it's not really worth more than that. So, in my opinion, so you can move it towards coaching. You could have a more expensive digital product. I think that if you're doing YouTube seriously, you should have something in the $200 to $500 range. That's only for a few people, and you can give those people more one-on-one time. But that's like if you're doing the full strategy and trying to make a living on YouTube, I think that it's similar to reselling, but it takes longer.
Yes. Yes. And I think that's, there's a couple of people that chat I was chatting with and what's hard when you first start out on YouTube, and I'm even there, it's you put so much time in and how much time is worth your money. And that's where I wanted to get my reselling business to where I was making that money. That I'm not making money on YouTube right now. My AdSense for sure is not there. I get digital products from it. And actually how I know that I'm okay moving into doing more YouTube content is this Saturdays this month I've spent on building a course. So I've been spending, and now I'm going to have a course out. So when I, am doing more YouTube, I have the digital products, the dashboards, and then also a course as well. But I had a question for you because you had talked about courses, digital product, and then also, if you're a YouTube, you have this $200 to $500 range. And I agree, selling something, but I feel like you have to get to a certain point. Like at what point, or is it like, okay, this person's legit and you can sell a course? Someone who has 100 subscribers, I'm probably not going to think that they're an expert in that. You know what I mean?
It depends on your numbers. So, as an example, if you are an Etsy seller and people can see your store and they like the way it's set up, and your store is about how to set up an eBay store or Etsy store that looks exactly like that, then I would consider that being worth the money. It literally is, what is it that you're offering versus how valuable it is to your final customer. I know channels that have 2 or 3 thousand subscribers that make six figures because they're only targeting specific people for a specific reason. So in the chat, it was Essential Endeavors is saying, so success is subjective. And the way that I look at that is success, and this is going back to time management. Success is when your day goes as planned. You actually don't know how much money you're going to make. You don't know.
I saw you say that, I think on
Yeah.
Instagram or something, and I laughed
Yeah.
hysterically because I have children and my day never goes as
Well,
planned.
but I'm saying that it would make you feel better if it went more towards the plan.
Yeah,
People feel helpless when their day is totally different than what they planned.
right,
You start to panic.
right.
So
Hello, like that's 2020, right? Everything's gone.
yeah, this year has been quite a doozy. But as an example, so for me, I do have the luxury of doing what I want to do pretty much the entire day. It's pretty blocked off. So I do break it up. There's probably 9 different ways my YouTube channel monetizes, but the majority of money comes from three. But I think in the beginning, just like eBay and reselling, you don't know what's going to monetize well. So you learn everything a little bit the best that you can. And over time, it grows. Like I put out almost 1,000 videos now. So I've learned what people like, what people don't like. It's the same with reselling.
Mhm.
I know what sells well for me because I'm putting it out.
And I love that you say this. And I've been spending more time looking at, I feel like I have enough content now that I can be looking at my YouTube analytics to try and figure out like what to do and what to work, which is amazing that they have all those analytics there. When you're trying to decide what content to put out and what videos to make, what metrics in eBay or what metrics in YouTube kind of tell you, okay, this is hitting the mark, this is what I should do. Like, what do you look at?
Great question. So I'm now polling my audience more often. So as an example, I know that 75% of resale content, people want to know what to buy. That's 75%. So if you did haul videos or what's sold
What
videos,
sold?
those are the most popular. But for
Mhm.
me, those don't like for on my channel, most people already know how to resell. So that's not necessarily as important. It depends though. It's going to evolve. In the beginning, if you're trying to get attention, then you would want to post like $600 in sales from Goodwill. People love watching that.
Mhm.
New people who don't know you will come into your channel. Over time, though, there's two different types of content. This is really important for everyone listening. Content that gets you new subscribers, and then content for existing subscribers. I think it's very different. New subscribers, you want to make sure to let people know who you are, what you do, why they should listen to you. And then for existing customers, you can go more in depth, have more of a conversation with them, get into it. And I think focusing on just one type of person that you want to serve is challenging. That's the most common advice, but I would say probably a few. So, as an example, I like to call people with more than one income stream, like you or Essential Endeavors or Leslie, multi passionate. Okay, because
Ooh.
the reason why I call it that and not multi-income is usually it doesn't. That's not how success usually works. Usually, success is you pick one thing and you're really good at it. But since we live in the world of not that anymore, You can be multi-passionate, and eventually those incomes will all equal an income that you're happy with, but it takes longer.
Yeah. And on that note, because it takes so long for YouTube or social media to start making that money, when you're first starting out, how do you kind of divide your time? Because if you spend all your time on YouTube, you're not making money because you're not doing reselling. Is there like a formula or anything that you would say, like 10% of your time on reselling, or how you kind of figure out where to divide and conquer?
So it depends on what type of content. If you're gonna do edited content, then I would say 10 hours a week for one video.
Hmm.
It's gonna give you the best bang per buck. I would start with the thumbnail and the title first. You know, as an example, I might do something. If I were doing something right now, I don't necessarily make content like this, but if I was making one edited video, I would do how the election affects reselling, right? I would figure out what words work with that. I would have a great thumbnail that matches that. Then I would make the video because it's relevant right now. So title, but since I don't necessarily do that, I might make content that I want to make. So it's like, okay, day in the life of what Chris is thinking about. I have enough of an audience that they would care. So
Hmm.
that's easy. That kind of stuff is literally, what are you thinking about, Sarah? Done. That content's fast. But the research one, I would say in the beginning, people don't spend enough time.
And so based off of that and what you said earlier, I'm hearing the 10, spend 10 hours start to finish on a new video. That's going to be more the new subscribers, where the second
Yeah.
one, hey, what's in my head, is going to be your existing subscribers. So if you have a channel that has, what do you have now, like 50,000, 70, you have a zillion subscribers, you can make those videos and get your views. If you're starting out and you have 100 subscribers, you need to be focusing on. And I think that's a valid point, and it's hard because 10 hours to make a YouTube video,
Yeah.
I could list so much in 10 hours.
Absolutely. But
So,
also if you do, okay, here's one thing. 10 hours of listing, let's say you get up 100 listings, and let's say that makes you $1,000, which is awesome. That's $100 an hour for 10 hours forever, right? The thing with YouTube that's odd is that each week you make more than the previous week,
mhm,
and that starts to build, right? So it takes longer, but over time it's worth more, in my opinion. Also, Essential Endeavors is saying it takes 4 to 5 hours per video for full editing, thumbnail, and description. 100% agree with that. The
yeah.
people I know that are making crazy amounts of money on YouTube, they do that every day. The people that are going ham, right? And I think that it really depends on what it is. So one more thought. Duncan has mentioned, if I do drama videos, I get a lot of people watching. That's true, but this is one thing
Yes.
that's important for YouTube, which is longevity. If you do drama videos, you will burn out because it's very emotionally taxing. If you made only how-to videos, you would never be burned out because it's not emotional. It's like if you posted how to list items faster, how to find items that are profitable in less time, how I balance a family and reselling. None of these are drama related. People come in and out. It's going to have, in reselling, it's a heavier female demographic. The demographic of women who run a household is the most valuable one. You are the most valuable customer.
Yes.
Since you are in that demographic, you
Yeah.
have a really good audience. Your audience is yourself,
Right.
right?
And I can
Me,
relate. Yeah.
right? I'm not actually in the best audience, so that's why it's useful for me to talk to people like you consistently to get an idea of what you're going through. Your challenges are what my audience is going through.
Yes. And so on that, because this is the struggle that I deal with, and I'm noticing too, about 4 to 5 hours per video, unless I do these lives. And that's why the past couple of months I've just been doing these lives, because I can still have content without having to spend all of the time, right? How do I do this? Like, how do I do the time management? Because 4 to 5 hours is one video a week. But YouTube likes you to be on there all of the time. You've helped me find a lot of ways in reselling to become more efficient. My pictures are taking half the time than when we started. Shipping has been extremely less time. So I'm trying to think of, and I'll tell you a couple of things that I had thoughts on, and thought maybe you'd have a couple ideas too. So I've made some templates. I went to school to be a teacher. And so I'm thinking of YouTube as building a lesson plan, right? So what you said, you start at the top, here's what I want to teach people, my thumbnail, my title, and then you work your way down to build the content. So I built a template to kind of help me build content, and I can do that here and there with the kids. So I think I've noticed having templates for other things have helped me, things that I'm doing repetitively, so I'm not having to start there. And then something that's helped on my Instagram as well is having series. So every Friday, I know this is what I'm building. I can have templates already built out, ready to go. And so I'm wondering if there are some like maybe thumbnails that I can do templates with and just change, the title or something per video, if that makes sense.
So this I'm gonna relate it to reselling because it works that way. If you do a live, it's the same thing as thrifting to me. You post it, you do the best that you can with what you have, right? Versus doing a 10-hour video is more like a replenishable. You're doing research. So as an example, every video that I make that is on a specific topic that I spend a lot of time on, all those videos make over $2,000. So if I spent the time to really sit down and spent 10 hours and researched everything and made sure it was really relevant to the audience, I would consider myself a pro YouTuber because I'm making the content exactly what the customer wants. Versus if I just make a live video, it's going to make $200, but it's going to make $200 immediately. I can just do it now and it will equal that, right? It only takes an hour and 30 minutes to do a live versus 10 hours for a fully planned video. So in between those two, you'll, depending on how much time you put into it, reselling is different, has different levels. So if you pick reselling, if you work on only replenishables, it pays off in the long term, but it's going to be exactly like what Essential Endeavors is doing, because when you do that in the beginning, it doesn't work. But later, people watch all your previous videos when they binge you. And I made the mistake of doing too many lives when I first started.
Yeah. And I only started on this when I didn't have time and I was like, I don't want to stop YouTube and have like to start the algorithm all over again, but I am in the point. So kind of what I'm hearing you say is quality over quantity. And so maybe for me, that's okay, one really good video a week, but over time, that's going to end up better in the long run.
Wait, one more thought on this. So it is actually just like eBay. There's no such thing as too much content. This is what I mean by that. Meaning you could post a live every day. It's fine. That's separate than your one super edited video. So Essential Endeavors, for me, the channels that I watch, they do both. The channels have lives once in a while, and sometimes they do super edited videos. And on certain channels, I only watch the super edited videos. On certain channels, I only watch the live. It depends on what your, because there's so many people on YouTube. You have different audiences for different things. So people, like, listing a pair of jeans isn't going to mess up your shoe store. People who are watching your store for the shoes will just ignore that and look at the next shoe listing. And people like following people that they like. And since you are very relatable, I wouldn't have talked to you if people weren't relatable to you, because that's important. You want people to, if I was looking at myself, I wouldn't have picked me, because only 15% of America is Asian. I'm sorry, not 15, 5%. 5% of America is Asian. That's nothing.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess I don't care about being relatable. I watched a couple of your videos and I was like, this guy knows his stuff. And he's no nonsense. That's what I like about you. It wasn't fluff, no nonsense. And I think that's kind of hard to find on YouTube.
It's true. So content does matter, but if I'm looking at it just like from a demographic standpoint, it's easier to relate to people who look like you. And this is just like you as far as like have kids, whatever, all the things that are like you. That's why people it's easier. So I think you have all these demographics. You're a powerhouse in the making.
Yeah. So how do I like tap into them and get them all to come to my channel and buy my things?
So you have to do both. The lives are fine.
Yeah. Okay.
You have to do one video a week minimum that's targeted for people that you don't. This is the best advice. Make content for people you don't know. I don't know.
That's good, because I was.
You go ahead.
Oh no, that's good, because I was planning on making. Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. Okay. What were you going to say?
I was just saying, I popped over to Essential Endeavors YouTube video, and she's got what looks like to me only edited videos, because she's got the high quality thumbnail. If you hold, I mean, there's actually a live, but you can look at I can tell what kind of YouTuber she is by her titles and thumbnail. It's on purpose. She's in it, which is huge. So she's like, I think one thing that you could do is spend some time with Mr. Styles and watch some YouTube with him, because it helps. I know it's a pain, but hopefully you can spend a little bit of time because it helps you get into it.
No, and I think that's a valid point. I think I've mentioned this before. I'm not really a YouTube consumer. And so I think it makes it harder because I don't even know how people search. Like, I don't search, I don't look at suggested videos, I don't. So I do think I have started this week to start. I'm going to watch one video or one channel a week, because I get overwhelmed. If I watch too many, I get overwhelmed, which is why I don't. But I do think it will help me see, okay, I watched this video, why did I like that? Let me take that to my channel. These thumbnails, and you're talking about essential endeavors. I'm pretty sure it's Brittany. I was on a chat with her earlier. I think it's Brittany. Tell me if I'm wrong, essential endeavors. But now I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, thumbnails. You said that you can tell that she's very intentional with her titles, her descriptions, her thumbnails.
Yep.
That's kind of something that I've been looking at and researching on how to, because you have to have a good thumbnail, right? Like, that's what is going to catch a new person's eye. And so I've been messing around looking at the analytics behind there. But any tips that you have on thumbnails?
Mostly you. So 30% of the thumbnail is going to be your face. And the thumbnail shouldn't be the same thing as the title. So it represent something different. So let me see if I can find one with, okay, so for example, I see one of Brittany. I see a thrift haul and she's holding up clothing. That's exactly right. She has thrift haul also written on the title, which is not necessary because that's already in the title. So you just want it to match mostly your face. That's how you convert it. And then something I wish I knew when I first started in Essential Endeavors, probably already knows this, Brittany, but the shorter the video, you want to have the percentage of watch time is really important.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been now my videos are way shorter. Because my channel is growing super fast now because I changed the format. On August 10th, I decided I was going to make YouTube for everyone instead of just for fun. And it changed because now I know I want people to watch as much as possible, get as much value as possible. Don't clickbait people because YouTube will know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so Brittany has one called 2020 Reselling Sales Support, 2020 Reselling Sales Report. And she has a face she's making a funny face and it says, "This was not expected." Funny face should be like half of your thumbnails because people are like, why is your face look like that? They'll click on it to watch you.
Yeah, and you have multiple facial expressions and stuff. Can we look at my channel really quick and you can tell me some here, I'll pull it up. I have it pulled up so we can look here.
Perfect.
Can you see this?
Yeah. This is perfect because it's small.
Okay. And I did mess around. So some of these are new. I've messed around with different things to see how they react. If you scroll down, these are my older ones. Mm-hmm. And this is where I was using a template, right? What sold. It's the same video, the same template. So I don't have to keep creating.
Yeah, those are great. So I would say that the contrast it needs to be your face. More of them.
So more of my face, less.
More of your scroll up a second.
Uh-huh.
Right here, the one on the top left, I would click more than the other ones because the face is larger.
Okay, and that's where these are the newer ones that I've done.
Those are better.
The live ones.
Larger, it's because it might only be this small, so it's hard to see. Right, so I want to see the biggest smile. Actually, smiling faces convert the worst.
So make weird faces.
For what it's worth. Yeah, frowny faces, unhappy faces. You're just.
Oh well, I'm too happy.
You're too happy. I don't know if you can be a YouTuber.
Okay, now what about words? So more of my face, less of the body.
Less words and more picture.
Yes. So words. I've heard 4 words or less. So I've tried really hard to keep these to 4 words or less. But what, like the one tonight, we did multiple streams of income. What would you, this, our content, what would you have put for your thumbnail?
I would put a picture of like okay, it's hard on the live, okay, because it's gonna be clickbait because when you click on it, it's gonna be us talking.
Hmm.
But that's not necessarily bad. Brittany has some feedback as well.
Oh, yeah,
But
I can't see that.
I think that let me think here. What would I have done differently for ours? I think it would just be a background of me and my store. Like the what I don't see in any of these thumbnails is your store. Like the best one on this first page for me is the one in the bottom row in the center.
This one?
Yeah. For me.
Okay. No, this is
So
good.
yeah.
Yes, I don't. And I've actually, since you've said that, it's hard to see because it's getting dark here, but I do remember you saying that you started shooting more in your store. And so I have been, instead of having a white background, I have been shooting more in my studio so you can see the chaos that is behind me.
Yeah.
But this is good. So what did Brittany, let me,
She's
thanks for
saying
keeping
that
an eye on.
she agrees face pictures are good. She's learning that less text is better. And with the templates, it's hard to differentiate what the videos are about.
Yes, I agree. And that was just me trying to get content made while life was crazy. So I do try and put out a lot, but I think I'm going to focus on maybe just one really good video a week and then keep the lives, right? And see where I can go.
Yep. One video live, one video edited. And also backing up for just a moment, and maybe Brittany knows this too. An edited video doesn't have to have editing. You just need to edit what you say. You can just do a pre-recorded live, but write down exactly what you say.
Yes.
That video is kind of like an edited video because people realize it's organized.
Yes, right. So like build the content where
Build
here
the
I have like
content.
3 questions for you and then we just talk about whatever, right?
That's right.
And that is something, and I'm going to say something that's helped me too in editing videos. I quit editing videos because it's so time consuming. I shoot in Zoom because you can put my face there and my screenshot all in one, and I don't have to go back and edit. That's actually been really helpful when I was making videos. Because you film a video and then you have to edit it, and it takes just as much time to edit, right? So I'm trying to think of ways to crank it out, get rid of those tasks that take a lot of time if there's other more efficient ways to do it.
Yeah, and there's a comment about from Restyle Secrets saying that funny face videos don't attract her. They usually don't attract your own audience, but they attract new people. So you should do both.
Yeah, because you want to say, hey, why are they making that funny face? Like it piques your interest. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So Duncan's saying maybe Sarah should do a video and show her shipping technique. I will tell you, I have no shortage of content ideas. That's not my problem at all. I probably have a list of like 50 ideas for content. It's more finding the time to be able to make the videos. But if I have all the content, I just pump out one new one a week, and over time it'll get better, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think we've answered most of my questions. Let me take a look. I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to share or if people had questions in the comments.
I'm gonna look at your channel again. I would say that.
Yeah. Here, let's bring it up.
Also, yeah, the new thumbnails are much better.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
these are great.
Zoom in more.
Yeah, zoom in more. But I do like the ones that are the whole body shot too, because that's like a real person. Because I guess just mix it up because I see a lot of just pictures, just face.
I actually I talked to Mel that you told me
Yeah.
and we were talking about thumbnails, and after I talked to her I redid some of these, so that was with help from her, so thank you for that.
Yeah, I think I'm okay with I think that funny face videos convert well for new people, but Brittany's saying that she likes the funny face. I do. I like all the faces. So depending on who I'm watching, I want to watch. Like she said, it's human. If you go through all the emotions, like on that page right there, I would say, yeah, of these 15 videos, at least 2 of them you should be making a funny face. So there's it breaks up the
Well,
monotony.
yeah, there's one there. I'm laughing. Yeah. Okay. What's hard with the lives is I just went back and took a screenshot too, and it's hard to get, especially with multiple people, a screenshot where everyone looks. Like the one for tonight, my husband was like, "Why are you frowning?" But I'll tell him that it's good to have different facial expressions. So
And it is.
he gave me a hard time. Was there something else that you wanted to look at on?
I'm looking at it also on a different screen.
Oh yeah.
I like it. There's a uniformity. I know it's your video, which is nice.
Hmm.
And yeah, it's just that once I stopped doing lives, my channel was a lot better. So even just recording it, like if we did this format, recording it and then uploaded it, and also you want to collaborate with larger YouTubers as well, and it helps the larger YouTuber too. So Mel only has a couple thousand subscribers, but I got definitely 100 subscribers from doing a collab, which is fine for me. So it's just about making content that's on both. So we tried something new. We made and I want to do this with you too. I made a video for her channel and a video on my channel
Yeah.
at the same time. We uploaded it on the same day at the same time. And then people bounced back because it was part one and part two. We knocked out two videos at once, same Zoom setup, download, or yeah, you just chop it up
Yeah.
and then send people the two different files.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're going to try next time, and then possibly do a premiere with it if it's content that people may want to interact with. But so do you think that YouTube favors recorded, like uploaded content over live content?
100%.
Yes. Okay, why
So
is that? Don't they
Mel's
like the real interaction?
but the engagement is super low. So Mel's in the chat right now. Um,
Oh,
so what's up,
hey.
Mel? So as far as the reason why YouTube doesn't like it is because it's the same thing as eBay. It's looking at the thumbnail and then conversion and an amount of time watched. So
Yes.
it's just worse for that conversion. The main reason that you would do live is for super chat
Yeah.
because
But
people
so
are literally here.
yeah, I'll have to look at my numbers. I'm working on paying more attention to analytics now that reselling's in a good place. But I feel like people are watch longer on a live because they're interacting with you. Is that
Uh,
not the case?
I don't think so. Only the people that are here.
Um,
The people who are not here are annoyed with that.
Yes, right. That makes sense. Okay. Yes, I didn't think about that. That totally makes sense. On that note, Leslie is saying that she's down to collab with you. So, because you said to collab with
Let's do it.
bigger. Yeah, Leslie's amazing. But I do have a question on that because I, threw my hand in the or my hat in the ring or whatever it's called for your mentorship. But I don't find that most big YouTubers are really like, hey, let me collab with someone smaller. So how do you go about getting, because I do a lot of collabs, but it's usually with people that have less than I have,
So
which I'm fine with, but
mine was selfish. So Mel reached out to me. You reached out to me. You are actually my demographic. So I want to get to know you better and learn about what you're going through and your challenges. That's perfect. It's much easier to reach out and collab when the person actually wants to talk to people like you. So be useful, let them know what you do. And now it's you know, I think it's important. If the larger YouTuber doesn't reach out to you to collab, they probably just don't know you yet.
so maybe
Just
because
keep
like I said,
reaching out, keep commenting.
I was gonna say I don't spend a ton of time on YouTube, and I just told my husband tonight that I think I need to spend more time on YouTube and comment on people's videos and interact so that I'm like on Instagram. I do that because it's much quicker. Like I can get on and pop on really quick and do it. YouTube, I have to watch a whole video, so it's very time consuming. But I do think that maybe being more interactive in the YouTube reselling community could help.
Also, one more thing that's really effective is you can buy people's time. So as an example, last year I went to Posh Fest, probably cost $3,000 or whatever, hotel, flights. I took my wife. I can just buy everyone's product and they will answer your email. Just buy whatever
Mhm.
they're selling and say, hey, I looked at your guide. It was really cool. I would love to do a collaboration sometime. No pressure. I've already laid out what we should talk about and I can make it really quick for you. I know that you're busy. Your time's more valuable than mine. That's cool. And I did that. I got Roberto
Mhm.
Blake. He's like a big YouTube person. I just bought his course and he gave me like a 5-hour consultation. So like that's worth it. It's cheaper than going to video creators and spending $3,000 on a weekend. You can just, whoever you want to talk to, just buy their most expensive thing and then they'll talk to you.
That's a valid point. I'll have to put that into my budget. But that is a good point. I think, and I do think that I need to add spending more time on YouTube and getting involved in the community a bit better.
So wait, before we sign off, Mel just got a VA. Do you want to share a little bit about how things are going with your VA, and then we'll call it a night?
Yeah, sure. We actually have been chatting. She's Australia, right?
Yep.
So like the time differences. But we chatted quite a bit last night about it too. And she asked me, my VA is absolutely fantastic. I highly recommend it to everyone. I have been very, very, very fortunate to find just a person who does it. She loves eBay. She hates shopping, but she loves eBay listing. So she's been listing on eBay for 13 years. So she tells me what to do for most of the time. And she knows it better than I do. So it's worked out really well. There's absolutely no way that I could be the volume that I'm at right now, especially with the 3 kids at home and consistent on eBay without a VA. So I recommend it to everyone. I don't have any recommendations though. If someone, because I have people reach out to me all the time and I'm like, she's not a company, she's just a person. I've told her multiple times that she should start a company because she's very good at it. But she's actually a teacher, a virtual teacher full-time. So she's really busy right now. But I definitely, it's been amazing. So Mel, if you have questions, let me know, but I can definitely help what I've learned. For sure. All right. Well, yes. Duncan is saying my time is $600 an hour. How about yours? Well, I appreciate it. And so until next time, thank you so much. I'm going to work on branding and YouTube. If you guys did like content like this, do make sure to subscribe and hit that like button on your way out. Have a good night.